We intend to appeal this case immediately to the California Court of Appeal to get a judicial opinion. At the present moment, the citizens of the state of California are still without an authoritative ruling on the merits of the underlying issue in this case, and that is whether or not Mr. Reinecke is still qualified to hold office in view of the jury's verdict July 27th. People's Lobby contends that at the present time, he should be temporarily disqualified until such time as he is successful, if ever, in overturning the jury verdict. If he is, he can be reinstated at that time. We intend to take an immediate appeal to the Court of Appeal to try to get a judicial opinion on the merits of the case and not have this matter just buried under the rug.
I thought you invited him to fly you. Joining me here is the Vice Chairman of the Mayor's Labor Management Committee, Mr. Ralph Woolpert, and I'm pleased to report to you on some of the proceedings this morning. I've met with my staff for a briefing on matters that have taken place thus far. I met with the representatives of the State Conciliation Service, Tom McCarthy. This morning I met with members of my staff for a briefing, bringing me up to date on the events of the last few days. I met with the representatives of the State Conciliation Service, Tom McCarthy, who has been carrying on negotiations thus far, Tom Vittich, who has now been brought into the picture to join him, and with Ralph Duncan, who is head of the State Conciliation Service. We've discussed their activities and what they think they plan to do in the next several hours. I indicated to them the proposals which have been made to me by my Labor Management Committee and what steps I plan to take with regard to those recommendations. Following that meeting, I met with representatives, the elected officials who serve the counties of cities where in a session this morning could not come. Discussions this morning. I plan to meet with the parties to this strike. And I shall discuss with them my plan to appoint a mediator who will represent the mayor's office to serve along with the conciliation service from the state to hopefully bring these parties together to resolve their differences and come up with a solution that will once again restore bus service in the four-county area which RTD serves. The person has not yet been finally selected. I've had some preliminary discussions with some parties. The final selection perhaps will not be made before the end of the day. Of a new force, a new party, a new factor, a new dimension in this problem at this point, after almost 6 weeks of the strike, will provide a new psychological boost that has been missing thus far. In any serious difficulty such as we have been experiencing in this bus strike, where there's so many complex issues involved, requires the most delicate timing. A proposal which might not have worked 3 weeks ago may very well work today, and it is that new dimension which we are looking for. Hope. And I don't propose to disclose my whole card today. Field, I'm told, would have been premature. They think the time is ripe, and I think...
Try to get the unions to agree to binding arbitration should mediation fail.
Both positions have been pretty static all through this thing.
With some idea that they are closer together. Will we have access to...
Well, it certainly would have been better for the ballot issue, Proposition A, had the strike not occurred. And I think that, you know, we can only speculate at this point. But I think equally important is the question of restoring the service so that the people who need it, some 650,000 people, can have that daily bus service. The young people who go to school, the school district, which is going to suffer a loss of their revenue because of the young people who are unable to go to school because they can't get there. The elderly, the poor, those who must use the buses and have no other complex issue, not easily resolved, and it is for that reason.
That he gave you this morning, will any of those be given to your mediator, whoever he is, once you pick him, in order to help settle the strike? In other words, did your advisory committee give you any figures that should be aimed at as far as offers and demands?
No, they do not suggest what the appropriate level of settlement should be. They simply will offer suggestions as to procedures or devices for moving toward a figure that will be agreed upon by both sides or by arbitration.
Was this mediator their recommendation?
Yes, yes, it was.
Mr. Woolpert, did we have a word or two?
Did recommend that an outside mediator be brought into the picture. We've suggested several other alternative methods of procedure. We do feel, however, that whoever the third party or the new mediator who's brought into the picture will be, that he come in without being handcuffed and have all of the options and alternatives available to him so that he can move as rapidly as possible towards bringing the parties together.
What other alternative procedures did you offer?
Well, at this point, I'd rather not say because, again, we want to make those suggestions directly to the mediator.
Are the alternative procedures more stringent than the persuasion, general persuasion you were talking about there?
Yes, there are some alternative procedures that are possible that would go beyond that of the moral sway.